HoonTV!
Hello, my name's Shane Suter and this is my 72 Corvette. First car was a Ford Anglia with a Cortina GT motor in it. That was my first car. It cost me $500. My first registered car that I could drive was a Holden FE panel van that was used as a campaign car for a state politician back in 1975 in Adelaide. And it had all the stickers still on it. I drove it around for ages. Couldn't actually test drive it because it didn't have any brakes. So when I picked it up after I paid for it, I used to have to pull up on the curb with my wheels to make it slow down. LCXU1, that was a highlight car for me. Power to weight was unbelievable. I had a Holden HD custom car that I built. My first car I probably built, Holden HD. I bought it because most people thought the HR was a better model, because it had a different front end. Mine had the old Kingpin front end and it had the front guards on the HD were pretty ugly. And I only bought it because everybody else didn't like it. So I wanted to make a ugly duckling into a pretty swan. So I built that and did a few car shows and won a few. So that was another one that stood out. I had a HK Bathurst Monaro with a 327. That was another good one. I'd never driven anything like that before and that was a pretty scary car. We had a look at a few other things and we saw a 180 Nissan 180 SX that we didn't know anything about, and basically made our mind up over a couple of hours that that's what we wanted, probably because of the way it looked. So we bought that, and that was probably 15 years ago, when imports could drive around the streets without being harassed, not like today. And that was the start. So we bought that. At the same time we had a 32 GTST and then moved on to a 32 GTR, had another 32 GTR after that, and now a 34 GTR. So yeah, been a Nissan guy for quite some time. Had an early 911 Porsche as well. That was an interesting car, very good handling car. But I don't think they compare really to the newer cars today. You know, everybody says they're great cars, and they are, but the newer cars, the handling and the components and the technology is probably where it's at now. And we have older cars because we enjoy them, like this one here. They bring back the memories from that time when you saw them in an American magazine and you thought, that's a really cool car. I think childhood memories of cars that you want probably stay with you forever. So hence it's taken me 35 years to get one of these, but I got it. I found it online in 2010. Sort of hooked up with a guy, the dealer in America who had it in Georgia. It took 9 months to get it over from the US. That was probably pretty much how I thought it would be, maybe a little bit worse, but I sort of had no grand expectations of what it was going to be like. It was going to be a task for us to do it, and I really had no knowledge of how to do it, which is good. We rebuilt this from basically the ground up, front to back. Everything under this has been replaced, repaired, cleaned, wire brushed. Every nut and bolt been taken off, either replaced. But it was a situation where I didn't need it finished at any given time. So if I did a weekend and I didn't want to work on it next weekend, I didn't have to. Which makes it always a bit easier when you don't have to do something, when you can just do it at your own time. So that's what the enjoyment was. The fact that we did it in 10 months, we were a bit lucky. Having to bring everything over from America is a bit of a pain because the freight is expensive. But you just do what you do. And I think it's turned out pretty well. What I think, what's a 42-year-old car? I think the design of it was ahead of its time. It's a bit like the E-Type Jag. They just got it right, basically. You know, the designs, the shapes, the angles. It's very contemporary, even 40 years later. It's still contemporary. You know, you still drive it now and people still marvel at the way it looks. You know, they were probably a bit lax in the handling department, but then most cars were 40 years ago were pretty average. But yeah, it's one of these cars, early Porsches, another one, E-Types. They just had a style about them that made them a little bit unique. So that's why I went for that. That's just that look, that child boy dream of owning one. And I think everybody in the car world has a car that they either saw when they were kids that they always wanted. And I don't think it ever leaves you. It's always there. It can be anything. You know, it can be a VW. It's just, once it's in your mind, you want that car. You really don't know why you want it. You just know you do. And, you know, I was lucky enough to fulfill that. Some people don't.